My name's Aaron Massey from MrFix@DIY.com, and today I'm here to show you how to build this rustic timber framed mirror out of an old garage sale mirror I picked up for 25 bucks. To cut these timbers, I'm gonna need to use a chainsaw. And if I'm gonna be using a chainsaw, you bet your sweet ass I'm gonna look the part. I'm going to be using what's called half-lap joinery, which is where you overlay two pieces of wood together, notch out half of each one, lap them on top of each other, thus half-lap. In addition to the half-lap joinery, I'm going to be using 1-inch dowels to join all the timbers together to make it a really solid frame. This wood is not all the same size, it's not all the same thickness, it's a lot of different things. So there's a lot of different variables. That's half the fun. So first thing we're gonna do to get started is we're gonna lay out these timbers in a rough formation just so we have an idea of what the framing is gonna look like. Figure out which piece is gonna be the sides, which pieces are gonna be the top and the bottom. Now the key to laying this out is to make sure that it's square. And the way we're gonna do that is measure the diagonals. Now we're measuring the diagonals from corner to corner as best as we can to try and keep it as square as possible. Obviously this thing, the wood is not square, the edges are not square, nothing square about it, so try and make something square out of something that's not square, you're gonna be spinning your wheels all day. We're not going for precision, we're going for style. So this is our basic frame. We've got 34 inside, which is 2 inches less than our mirror width, so we can carve our little dado channel. We've got just over, whatever, we got about 6 something for our height. So we know our mirror can inset in. What we're gonna do next is we're gonna mark off what needs to be trimmed on each piece, cut off the excess of each piece so that we've just got what we need. So the face protection shield obviously works a lot better when you use it. So I think I'll use it this time. Man, that's fun. So now we can figure out where we need to cut our half laps. I use the half lap term a little bit loosely because each one of these boards is not quite exactly the same width. The idea is though, that we're going to notch out a piece of this board to set this piece down so that the bottom of this board sits flat with the bottom of this board. I'm okay with it being a little uneven on the front side. That's fine, it's style. You know, we want it to have a little bit of character and contour and different depth. On the back side, it's a little more important for it to sit flat because it's going to lean against the wall, so it needs to sit evenly against the wall. I want to kind of split the difference between taking a little bit out of this piece and a little bit out of this piece. Just going to kind of put some square lines up our timber here. This area here will be what we notch out for our half lap. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to measure the depth of this board. This board is about 3 7/8. We'll call it 4 inches. This board is 5 inches. We need to come down 3 7/8 inches. So on this board, we're going to take a little bit more meat from than we take from this board because they're two different thicknesses. So we'll come down 2 7/8 on this board, and then we can do 1 inch down on this board. That should give us 3 7/8 and bring us down flush. We can't really trust that any of these things are cut square, so we're just going to eyeball it. We've got 1 half lap on this board marked. So this one's good to go. We've got to mark the corresponding half lap onto the bottom piece, and then we've got to work our way all the way around, doing the exact same process, lay out where our cuts need to be. A little bit more measuring to do, then we get to do the fun stuff, bring the chainsaw back out, cut out all these pieces. Okay, now that I've got the half lap joints cut, you can see everything is put together. I moved it over to a bit more of a level surface so I can measure and mark where the dado cut's gonna be to slide the mirror in. But in the meantime, while I've got everything framed up and where it needs to be, I'm gonna use my drill, and I've got a little Forstner bit on here, and I'm gonna drill a hole in the corner for our dowels. piece of dowel is going to go into each corner all the way around. Now that we've got our dowels temporarily in place, we can measure and mark our dado cuts. What I'm going to do is measure from the back side of the frame, mark a line all the way around the inside of the frame. Then we're going to take the whole frame apart, and using the chainsaw, I'm going to cut down each line. I'm gluing the mirror to a 1/4 inch piece of plywood so that I can move it around a little bit easier without worrying about it shattering before I can get it in place. All right, so I brought the pieces inside so that they can be a little bit elevated. I can work on them a little bit easier. And it's dark outside now, so I've been working on this for a while. All that I need to do now is take the mirror that I glued to the piece of plywood and slide the whole thing inside.
Please don't break. Please don't break.
I've got to do it a little bit carefully so that I don't break the mirror, but I added the piece of plywood on the back so that it would give the mirror a little bit more stability so I can move it around a little bit easier without having to worry about it shattering. Once I get the mirror in place, I can glue everything up, set the corner pins, and then the assembly portion of this is done. Come on, baby. Yes! Woo! I am absolutely psyched. This thing is looking sweet. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. This thing is supposed to be imperfect. It's a rustic barnwood reclaimed timber frame DIY mirror from a $25 garage sale mirror, and I could not be more thrilled with it. It came out awesome. All I have to do is glue it up and set the pins, let this thing dry, then we can cut off our dowels and we can focus on just getting the finish on this thing. We don't want to sand this thing. We don't want to do anything that's going to disrupt the rustic look of it. So we're just going to use a dry brush. We just want to get rid of the dirt and debris before we put a couple coats of urethane on it and seal it in. To seal the timbers, I'm going to use this indoor-outdoor spar urethane, mostly because it's what I have lying around the shop. You could use polyurethane, you could use any number of things. It will give the wood a nice finish and allow it to still look rustic and rugged and have a little bit of the jaggedness to it without being too dangerous for you. We're gonna put a couple coats of this on using just a regular bristle brush that I have lying around. Once it's dry, oh man. That's it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Special thanks to Carhartt for making this video possible. And if you guys want to check out more Mr. Fix-It videos, be sure to visit my page at youtube.com/MrFixit. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. My name's Aaron Massey from MrFixitDIY.com, and today I'm here to show you how to turn an old upright piano into a speakeasy style hidden bar.